So get yourself into a comfortable position. You can lie down or sit, whatever feels comfortable, but having the back straight, whether it's sitting upright or flat against your bed, allowing the back to be up in a straight. Relax the shoulders, maybe give them a roll and drop them down, and release the jaw and gently close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. So just allowing the body to melt into the bed or the chair, wherever you're sitting or lying down, just releasing and relaxing. And we'll begin by taking 3 deep breaths together. We'll breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So breathing in through the nose and releasing out through the mouth. In through the nose and releasing and letting go. Last breath in and releasing, letting go out through the mouth and dropping down into the body, making sure those shoulders are nice and relaxed, releasing that jaw, allowing the brow and eyes to just release, relax, be at ease. And just allowing the breath to return back to its regular breathing pattern. We'll focus on the breath for a few moments now. Just noticing where you feel the breath the most. Is it at the nostrils? Is it at the chest? Or is it in the belly? And there's no right or wrong. There's just whatever is present here tonight for you. And just watching the flow of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Noticing the in-breath filling up the body, noticing the pause and feeling full, noticing the out-breath with the releasing and emptying, noticing at the pause the emptiness, watching that flow. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. And if the mind wanders, as minds do, just releasing whatever has taken you away and coming back to the breath, back to the flow, back to the now. And this month, we focus on taking a self time out. What is a self time out? It is a sacred moment of time that you take each day to look after your needs. It is a period of time that's 100% just for you. During this time, all you need to do is take a moment to be still, connect to the breath, and ask, what do I need in this moment to feel whole, nourished, and content? And then take the time to listen and make a choice to support yourself in whatever way you need. Here are some ways to inspire you to support yourself this month. Today I choose to love myself, to have fun, to open up to love, to be me, to be free, to see my value, to spend time in silence, to see my worth, to envelop joy, to shine my light, to move my body, to learn and grow, to connect to others, to connect to myself, to honor myself, to just be in stillness, to spend time with myself, to see the truth, to let go, to accept myself, to be different, to be brave, to come home to myself, to find my voice, to be present, to know myself, to nourish myself, to look after my needs, to be whole, to be playful, to go within and always ask myself, what do I need in this moment? And take a moment now to check into the body and connect with the breath. And think about how you're feeling today. How you're feeling out of 10. 10 being on top of the world and 1 being terrible. And now think back over your day and see if you can determine why this number is showing up in this moment. Have you remembered to look after yourself today? Does the amount of time looking after your needs reflect the score you've given to how you are feeling? I know even when I've had a 2 day, I can still feel like a 6 or a 7 because I've looked after my needs. This practice of self-imposed timeouts is a practice of self-care, and I encourage you to take the time each day this month to stop, check in, and ask, what do I need in this moment? How can I look after my needs? It is now time to return back to this time and place. So taking a deep breath in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. And gently wriggling the toes, wriggling the fingers, stretching the body in any way that you need. Releasing the neck and the shoulders, and gently opening the eyes when you're ready. And just noticing where you're sitting at the moment.
Welcome back. How did that feel for everyone? Did anything come up? No? Everyone's chilled. You didn't have your bowl today, Amanda.
No, I just realized I didn't have my bowl, so I couldn't end with the ring. So
That's all right.
with the breath instead.
And with the breath. All right.
I have the breath on hand, so that's why it's beautiful.
That's good. All right, so taking self-time out. This is an interesting month for us because when we were talking about this topic, we purposely pulled back. We're practicing what we're preaching to. So we're not doing our normal vlog and we're not doing the normal blog. So it's going to be very simple posts for the whole month because we just thought, yeah, we're going to also practice going within. And I think what I've noticed over this, I've just realized it's 6 months, like we've been in lockdown. That's crazy, half a year. But what I've realized is that as mothers, I think we all have been juggling more balls than we normally would in the air. And, you know, we have taken on these multiple roles of being the teacher, you know, the employee if you're working from home. And, you know, the home has become the school quarters, the living quarters, the sleeping quarters, and the workplace. So we've lost that segment. We've lost the day to debrief. You know, when you're driving home, you debrief. That's all gone. You literally just log off and then you go into your kitchen and you start cooking, and it's like that's all disappeared. So it's a continuous, feels like Groundhog Day. You're just doing it again and you're doing it again. And you seem like the same battles or the same challenges seem to get popping up. And it makes you realize that's why a lot of people are still really tired of this, because it's like we're losing that hope. You know, it's just like, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? And I think this month, even though we talked about last month was connecting to Mother Earth, and it's good that we can, you know, go outdoors. We're in spring now. So this is an opportunity to use the idea of spring to re-emerge, to reevaluate your life and just say, look, how am I feeling? Like, am I satisfied with my life right now, or am I feeling drained? And where is the drain coming from? Is it because of mental overload? Is it because I'm overextending myself as a mother? Am I able to delegate this task? Why do I feel like I've got to do it? Are my children old enough to do some of these tasks that I feel like I need to do for them? Is my partner able to participate? Because I think it's a generational thing. It's been passed on as women, that we feel as the mother, we've got to do all these duties. But I think that's what's draining us. That's why we're at this point where some of us are feeling like a 5 or a 6, because it's too much for our body, because we're putting the brake not enough. We're just doing accelerator. But you've got to have the brake. You've got to be able to go, I need a break. I need to switch off. Just like when you're driving your car and you get to the stop sign, you wait, you pause. And I think we have to consciously learn to do that and not be judging of ourselves, you know, realize that that's my way to function, to fill up my cup quickly in between when I have those breaks. So I've been playing around with this. Like when we came through this second COVID, I actually changed the paradigm. I really became more conscious about the self-care. I became really conscious about how I interact with the family, how I interact with my kids. And I've worked it out. I'm doing an 80-20 rule. I've actually figured it out. It's like, why am I feeling so good? Like everyone else is like, oh, I'm over it. I'm like, I'm just loving it, you know? And I realized it's the 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule is that 20% of my time and effort is to fulfilling my needs and my values. And that's where I get the 80% of feeling whole and content and abundant, right? So, I mean, I've been putting a lot of effort on my self-care. I'm still making a lot of effort to feel good, to dress up, to still feel like the normality of what was, okay? Because I'm wearing bright pink today, like, because that's how I feel from the inside. I'm just feeling really alive and love, like it's just pouring out of me. And I tend to dress that way. I dress by color. So if you see me in black, you'd be like, what's up with Suzanne? Because I tend to wear a lot of bright colors to express my inner being, okay? That's why I express myself. So color gives me joy. So I've worked out that when I put the 20% into self-soothing, into nourishing my well-being, looking for my own joy to feel good, then it just pours out of me. Then I'm actually able to be more present and more abundant with what's going on around me. So when a challenge does come towards me, I'm just like, okay, here it is. Here's the contrast. And what do I need to do? I'm not looking at it like, oh, here we go again. You know what I mean? Like, I come in with a different mindset, and it's just practice. I've been practicing a lot of the mindfulness and checking in, like name it to tame it, really identifying what's my inner compass telling me right now. And I know my ego. I know when she's around, because she loves to judge. She loves to pick on. She likes to pick. Now, I've turned her down the last 3 months because I see stuff in my house. Don't worry. There's a lot of excessive, a lot of addictive behavior going on in here, but I've purposely gone, switch her down. She doesn't need to judge. She doesn't need to pick on everyone else, because I'm no better either. Like, I'm human too. And everybody's dealing with this trauma in a different way. So I've purposely turned the volume down off the ego when I hear it, because I know that the ego, with all of you right now, whoever's feeling drained, it's our ego that's making us tired, because it just makes us overthink, review and dramatize the story that's going on in our head. And I know when I purposely turn her down, then the love comes through. So I try to see through the eyes of source, and I just change that. I always ask myself, who's talking now? Who is here right now? And it's, you know, it's a lot because I do a lot of reading as well. So I'm still on the Training Wheels book at 183. And so when you get through that book and you're halfway through, you understand how this whole universe works, and the game and the matrix. So I think what my advice to everybody here is really look at how you're scheduling your days, especially in October. Don't overschedule yourself. Really look at, actually do less, you know, look at what do you really have to do? What absolutely needs to be done? Rather than looking at the whole list, take out what's not even relevant and just work on the essentials, because that's what we are. We're still living on essentials. So why can't we still maintain that in our homes? Because picking those fights and those challenges, is it really worth it? Like in the bigger picture, like, is it really worth it? I always challenge myself. And it's also about deconstructing our old belief system. So, you know, we've all been raised with typical female genders, typical mothering roles. And I think we have to ask ourselves, am I doing this out of obligation? Am I doing this out of duty of service because I have to do it? Because that's when you get resentful. So it's like, you know, when you feel like, I've got to do it, I feel guilty if I don't do it. That's where you feel the burden, the heaviness. So it's actually choosing, like, do I really need to do this? Is somebody able to help me do this? Can I delegate it? Because no, I don't have to. You know, like Amanda was saying, I felt guilty to stay in bed. Why should you feel guilty? Because if your child was sick, you would let them sleep in bed. So we have to allow ourselves permission, if we don't feel well, to put ourselves to bed, literally put our inner child to bed. Because if we don't do that, she's not going to be available for anyone. You know what I mean? So I think as mums, we really need to check in this month and say, right, what can I do to self-soothe? Because we cannot keep looking to the outside to make us feel good. We've got to take that out of the whole thing. It's not our kids' jobs to make us feel good. It's not our husband or our partner. What do I need to do to feel good? So if it means I need to get up early to do some practice, self-care practice, yes. Or if it means I need to put everyone to bed and then do it in the evening, yes. We need to ask ourselves, what fills up the cup? And then watch the parental ego. When it starts to talk and you hear that internal dialogue, ask yourself, am I complaining? Am I playing the victim here? Oh, okay. So, and then start to choose the words, choice, like turn the paradigm, switch it over, flip the script, and do your inner self-talk to soothe yourself. Try not to overextend yourself. Like I actually have done the complete opposite. I'm not in my kids' pockets. I'm giving them the space to self-govern. So it's not me going, oh, we have to catch up today. If they come to me, I'm like totally available, but I'm not going in their space. I'm giving them that space to self-govern and to just go with the flow of things, because I feel like if I'm always in their space, I'm become annoying. Like I'm irrelevant. I understand I'm irrelevant and I'm quite happy with that. But it's like, I heard the beautiful quote the other day. It's like, the best relevance you can learn is to understand you're irrelevant. When you understand that you're irrelevant, sweetheart, this life becomes easy, because we just want to make ourselves so more significant than we think we are, but we're not. So it's like, I'm happy that I'm irrelevant in my children's world. So it's like being authentic to yourself, and only saying yes if you're committed. Don't do it out of obligation and guilt. So the biggest thing I've learned is learn radical acceptance of all your family members. They're going to be doing weird stuff and you just got to go, that's what they're doing. You know, learn to let go of judgment, because, you know, what you see in them, you see in yourself. So when you judge yourself. So learn to just be thoughtful, learn to cooperate, contribute all together. If it means, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all connection. Yeah, so it's leaning into it. But I love what Dr. Shivali said a few weeks ago in her wisdom talk. She's like, as mums, we need to focus on our own real estate. We keep giving our real estate away. And then we're like, there's nothing left. And it's so true. You have to look after your own real estate. And it might sound selfish to you, but I've been doing this for 3-4 months now, and I'm just winning. Like, I'm just loving it, because I've realized I'm looking after my own real estate. I'm not looking after their real estate anymore. It's like, you know, you can look after my own real estate. So it's like really shifting your expectations.
Suzanne?
Yeah.
What, now that you're looking after your own real estate, explain how that's changed the dynamic in your relationship with the kids, so that people understand the reason for doing it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what changed, because I realized when, I think it was the first time we went through the lockdown, especially with, I've got a teenager. So I was in his space a lot, and he was like, he kept saying, you're annoying. And I went, whoa, what's going on there? Like, I didn't get it. I was like, oh. And then I realized I'm just too much in his space. I'm trying too hard. I'm being too needy. I went, oh, that's it. I need to back off. I don't need to like step in his room, and he'll come to me what he wants. And what I found is like, he was really ticked off with me, and it must have been his own way of dealing with it too. You know, when school stopped and all that changes, and there was a lot of shift. But now I've realized he'll call me into the room when he's ready. If he's gaming, he'll invite me to, oh, Mum, what do you think I should do? And it's like, it's changed the paradigm, because I'm not over trying. I'm not overextending myself. When I was trying to, oh, let's do this and let's do that, they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, oh. And I'd learn to go, okay. But when they come to me and they'll say, Mum, I want to show you something I've made. I look at my character. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally in it. So I've realized that was the key. I was trying to do too much because I felt like I should, because, you know, the conscious parent. But I realized I don't need to do that. The whole idea is to back off and let the child come to you when they need you. And that takes the stress out of this whole dynamic of, you know, like being too needy and coming across as nagging or overpowering. And I think that's what shifted for me. I'm happy to be in my own company. I don't have to look for company, if that makes any sense. And when they want to join me, they'll join me, but I don't go into their space a lot. I give them the space to have their own time. So, and even with my husband, like, even though, I mean, it's really weird. Like, we're not like together 24/7, like he's in another room and he's working, but we adore each other. There's no doubt about it. But it's like, we don't need to be in each other's pocket. Does that make, it's hard to explain. I mean, I'm coming up to 20 years of marriage, and I realized, like, you know, I've survived the 20 years because we've grown as individuals. Does that make any sense? Like, we actually have our own way of doing things, our own hobbies. You know, I don't have to know about everything that he does. It's just this, I don't know, it's this beautiful play off each other, and we're walking side by side. Nobody's trying to outdo each other anymore. We're just equal. And I think that's what I've learnt in these few months. It's like, how was I going to do it differently, Suzanne? And then I figured it out. It's like, and, you know, like, I totally took a different approach with schooling. I did the bare minimum. Because I knew that when we do go back, then she'll get the assistance that she needs. I was not going to push her to do more than she was willing to do. Like, that's where I made that conscious decision. It didn't matter. It's not relevant. For me, it was just a small chapter in your life. What's a grade 4? Like, she'll catch up when she needs to. So I purposely just reevaluated myself and kept checking in. Did my ego need to do it? Or is it coming from the essence? I kept always questioning myself. And I knew that it was a lot of inbuilt things that I had learned over my own childhood that I felt like I had to do it. And then when I deconstruct, I said, you don't have to do it. Just, what are you talking about? Everybody's going to pass anyway. Like, I figured it out the game already. They're all these kids were going to pass and go to the next class anyway. So I thought, you know what? The school's got resources there. They'll evaluate the kids when they go back. They'll know very quickly who needs the extra support when it comes to term 4. So I just purposely pulled back. And I just said, enjoy the holiday. It's like a big, long holiday, because for me, it wasn't a priority. It was like, what do I need to do to get through this? And so that's, you know, that's a conscious decision that I made. And, you know, I had the same doubts and, you know, I sort of challenged myself. But then at the end of the day, I just said, what do you feel comfortable doing? And that's how it's always deconstructed. There's a lot of good books out there. Is that who's asking?
Yes.
Oh God, what's good books? Look, I have read a lot of books. I'd have to, let me look through my list and I'll send you, because I mean, I'm a bit of a listener. I listen to Abraham Hicks. I don't listen to her as much now because I kind of get what she was teaching me.
She does a lot of ego work, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does a lot. I think Dr. Shefali does a lot. She introduced us to the word, the ego.
Yeah.
So I recommend Dr. Shefali, and you can just watch her video
on YouTube. Yeah. Abraham Hicks on YouTube, Dr. Shefali on her Facebook page.
Well, we can invite you to our PMA Wisdom teaching page, because I've uploaded 60-something lessons. Yeah. And she's hardcore. Like, it's 30 minutes of your time, and it's like, boom, it's like, you know, she hits you, she's unapologetic. I love the way she speaks. She spoke the other day and I was just laughing all the way through because I just think it's hysterical. She just tells you off. She tells off the inner child. She tells off the child, the ego, because we need to be spoken to. Like, sometimes we need to be shaken up and just go, you've forgotten who you are. Remember who you are. And if you understand through, you know, the spiritual books and all that, we're from essence. We're from, you know, the universe. We're all just one. This is just a show. It's just a show, you know, and so I get that now. So every day it's a joke. Like, I wake up, it's a Truman Show. I get it. It's a Matrix. I go along with the joke. Ha ha ha. So, and I think that's where I'm at. I was like, I can do that. But 10 years ago, I couldn't. I would have been like, oh my God, this is a mouse off a computer. This is like, I can, you know, we all have words for things, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. It's just consciousness. It's frequency. It's vibration. That's it. Don't take ourselves so seriously. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say for October. I think what I've learned is the 80-20 rule. Put a lot of effort in yourself. I just cannot stress it enough. Like, I've just figured it out in the last 3-4 months. I'm like, that is the key. You've got to invest in your own real estate. If you don't, trust me, everything's just going to go. And you know, everybody else doesn't wake up going, what can I be of service to you today? Like, you know, it's like, don't feel guilty about it. You know, really ask yourself, do I have to do this today? Is it absolutely true? Like, I have to do it. Because half the time it's not. It's this. We're just creating work for ourselves. And it's just, it's not worth it. So just learn to practice this time going inward and doing what you need to do to get. And, you know, it's our 4 pillars we talk about all the time. Have a mindfulness. Have some sort of meditation practice. Practice the self-care. Parent yourself before you raise the child. And then you meet your child in their truest form, right? Eckhart Tolle, yes, absolutely. Eckhart Tolle, love him. That's why I've been posting a lot of his stuff as well. Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I made up. I mean, the 80-20 rule it's a thing anyway in the workforce.
Yeah, if you Google 80-20 rule, it tells you in more detail about what it actually means. It means that you've only put in 20% of the effort and you get 80% of the reward. So it's an analogy that Suzanne has taken to use for, I only have to put 20% of my time into me and I feel 80% full. Every day. Yeah. So
and I do that, and this is my morning. That's my chunk where I get up at 5:30 and I meditate. And I've started doing Tony Robbins' priming meditation. It is amazing. It just primes you up for the day, and I love it. Like, my boss got me into it, and it's my morning thing. And Amanda, remember when we did that? How
long does it go for?
Yeah, it goes for about 12 minutes. Do you remember when we went and did that meditation in Chelsea, that breathing, the Andela?
Yeah.
It's got that at the start, and it's crazy because you literally go, like you do this breathing for like 10 seconds and you drop your hand, and it's like your brain just goes blank because it's like, what the hell have you done?
YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, try and get the one with no ads, because nothing worse when you get interrupted. But it goes for 12 minutes, and he's done this so well.
Meditation. So
priming. It's called priming, and so he helps you to prime your day. And priming is powerful. It's like you visualize, how do you want your day to unfold? And he only says pick 3 things. That's all you have to do, and imagine yourself doing it. And I've been doing this for a long time. I do a lot of visual, a lot of self-talk. And even way I journal in a very positive way. I don't journal to vent. I actually journal to affirm myself, if that makes any sense. So, you know, I make very conscious decisions about how I talk to myself. Self-talk is really powerful. I think when you start to, I mean, I haven't been in that place for a long time, but if I start to judge myself and put myself down, of course you're going to have a crap day. So I build myself up, and I use exactly what Amanda was telling us in our meditation. You know, I am abundant, I am light, I am beautiful, I'm overflowing with love. Like, I speak in the essence of love. Like, I only speak about myself in that form because I know that that's where I've come from. Yeah, but that's the work I've done to get there. So it's really, really important to watch how you speak to yourself and how you visualize your day. Because if I wake up smiling, like I'm excited about the next 24 days I'm alive. I'm so happy to be here. Like, I'm just in awe. So it really is. It's, you know, it sounds crazy, but I've been doing this for a while, and I know it works. You can see I'm beaming and I'm glowing because it's just something that comes natural to me because I practice it religiously.
Yeah. And I guess as you do that self time in with yourself, it's about thinking about, what do I mentally need? What do I physically need? What do I emotionally need?
Yep.
We need to look at all 3 areas of ourselves. So, you know, we have this physical body that needs to be looked after. We have our emotional body, which is, I guess, where our spirituality lies. That, you know, we're connected to that truth. What do I need to connect to that, to feel whole, to feel one with that? And then we have our mental well-being, which is, you know, the ego, which is Suzanne's talking about. Is it overloading you with negative thoughts, with judgment? You know, what can I do to help clean that out? So when you're doing these self check-ins, it's like, am I mentally talking to myself in a way that I want to help clean that out? Well, how am I going to do that today? What am I going to choose for myself mentally? What am I going to choose for myself emotionally? What am I going to choose for myself physically? Because when we can look at all 3 aspects, then we be a whole. It's not just one. We're not just one bit. We are a light being. However, we've decided to have a physical experience in a body. So we've got to look after both. We can't just look after one. There's 2 parts of us living this life at this moment. So it's making sure that we look after all of those parts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a thing that you've got to practice, like you practice brushing your teeth. It's just, but it takes effort. But once you do it and you love it, it's just, I don't even think that, why wouldn't I not do it? It just becomes a natural thing for me. So yeah, if anyone wants to share like what's going on for them, or any way that we can deconstruct how you're feeling
about what we talked about, or if you want to share something that's happened that you know, like some guidance with.
Is anyone chatting there? Let me have a look. Oh yeah, thanks for sharing those books. Yeah. Everyone's quiet. Oh my goodness.
Everyone's okay. What about things with the kids? How's everyone going with their kids? Has anything come up? How are your kids coping? I'm not sure. I think everyone's got quite little kids here. There's a couple of primary school kids. How are they coping without not seeing their friends, without being at school? They enjoying the school holidays? I know my kids, such a big change since school holidays, seem much more settled, much more happier, and we're obviously allowed to go to parks, so that's made a big difference. How's everyone else's kids going?
Is Ethan still going out in the garden grabbing all these branches?
Yes. My 4-year-old, my eldest daughter, seems to be like extremely emotional right now. And yeah, I've been trying to navigate it and sort of figure out where, you know, how much of it's related to the change in routine and the virus, as she calls it, and how much of it is, you know, linked to maybe how I'm feeling and how I'm, you know, like it's been really challenging actually.
What type of behavior are you seeing?
Just like super emotional. So like at anything from you know, asking her to not wear her pajamas outside and like, let's get changed, to you know, it's time to get out of the bath because you've been in there for an hour. To stop hitting your sister, or can you be kinder to your younger sister, like anything like that just like flicks a switch and she just sort of loses it and starts crying and is sort of unconsolable.
And have you talked to her about it after the situation?
Yeah, I have, and tried to, but she doesn't seem to open up about it. Yeah.
So look, it's really hard when they don't want to sort of share what's going on, but obviously at 4, she's probably finding it difficult to understand what's going on for her too. So to be able to express that might be putting more pressure on her to sort of like, oh, I don't know what this is, and mum's asking me, and then the crying starts.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're overwhelmed, and so they go offline.
So, you know, a good thing with the littler kids is you can get on the internet, they have like an emotions page, and they'll have like little icons of like faces in different colors and sort of how are you feeling. And so she might be more connected if she looks at an image of a face and go, oh yeah, that's how I feel, than necessarily understand the word or the emotion. She might be able to say, I'm feeling blue, or I'm feeling green, or I'm feeling yellow, because, you know, blue might be I'm feeling really sad. Green might be I'm feeling a bit jealous, or a bit, you know, yellow could be feeling anxious or could be happy. You know, it depends what she connects with each color, because different kids and adults, we all connect with things differently. So words, especially when kids are younger, are really hard to connect with the emotions. It might be even good to sort of ask her, you know, where did you, like, I can see you're really sad right now and something's really upsetting you, you know, and then, you know, as she calms down, say, can you tell mummy where you feel it in your body? Where does it feel yucky in your body? And maybe talk to her in that type of stuff. And she might go, oh, it hurts here, mummy, it hurts here. Or, and you can ask her, so is it spiky? Is it heavy? And then you could ask her what color it is. You could ask her what shape it is. And then as you start describing it and talking about it, she might, first of all, she might never ever connect to what emotion it is, because she is only 4. But what you can do is you can say, okay, that's a yucky feeling. Tell me what shape and color is a safe feeling, is something that makes you feel maybe joy, makes you feel safe. Okay, so say the shape is a black square, spiky square. And so, okay, so now what we're going to do is whatever your safe thing is, say it's a yellow heart, let's put a yellow heart around that black spiky box. And that yellow heart is going to hug it, and it's still going to be there, and that's okay, but this is going to make you feel safer. This is going to make it shrink a little bit, and every time you focus on your heart, that little box is going to shrink and shrink, because something's obviously sitting in there for her to be so overwhelmed. And we don't know what our kids are picking up on with this COVID. Some people are really you know, are thinking that their kids don't know much about COVID. Like, we don't really talk much about it. We don't have any news on, but my kids know about it, and my kids know that there are restrictions. And, you know, my son was saying the other day, are we going to die as people, you know, who's going to die type thing. And we sort of had to put it in perspective. Say if, you know, 100 people had COVID, like, because he was saying, oh, how many people get it? Are there more people sick than get better? And so we had to try and explain to him, like, if 100 people get COVID, 99.5 of those people get better. Only half of them get really, really sick and might have to hospitalize. And maybe only a leg of that person is what dies type thing. So we had to try and put it in perspective for him, because, you know, at the moment it's really scary for a lot of kids, and, you know, you don't know what she's heard and what story she might be creating around it. There could be a fear of grief or loss that she's feeling. Is mummy going to die? Am I going to lose something? And so everything's like, oh, overwhelming and crying and exploding. You know, I don't know. That might not be it at all, but I'm just trying to think outside the box of what could be causing, like, you know, it might not be something that we see or know. It could be something quite underlying. As we said, we've got this iceberg, and at the top, this is what we see. We see the crying, the temper tantrums, the yelling, the screaming, and under that there's could be lots of unmet needs. One day it could be she's just tired. She could be hungry. Another day it could be she's feeling jealous because her brother or her sister, I think you said, her sister she saw her sister in your bed cuddling you in the morning, and she felt jealous because she wants to have that connection. You know, the kids, unfortunately, because their brains aren't fully formed, the logic center of their brain just makes no sense. They create these whole stories around these tiny little incidents that they see, and they become big incidents, and they don't connect the dots. So they see, you know, that child in bed hugging you, and they go, oh, she loves her more than me. She wants to spend all time with her, and she's her favorite, you know, just out of nowhere. And it's not that. If she'd come in 30 seconds later, your other daughter wouldn't have even been in the bed with you. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, while they're younger, it's about really trying to do some investigation and trying to, you know, I guess, try and think about every time she has an incident, and you might like to diarize it for a week and see what happened just before. What happened? Did she have a bad sleep that night? Was it just before lunch? Did she have some type of altercation with her sibling just before the outburst? You know, because what it could be a number of things that are happening, and then this minor thing of getting out of the bath is the trigger for what's occurred. So it's sort of, I know it's a lot of work, but if you can sort of monitor or think back to what happened prior to this moment, and then you think, oh, like, for me, I know that's what I try and do with my daughter who's 0 and then 100. My daughter does that, you know, she's 0 and 100, and I'm like, oh God, what happened prior? What happened? Where's the 100 come from? And I think, oh my God, it's lunchtime, and it's 20 minutes past lunch. She hasn't had any food. She had a really early breakfast and she's had no snack. Of course she's going to lose it, you know? So, and I know it's not always, if it's food related, it's easy, but if it's something else, it takes a little bit more investigation.
And I would probably add to, I might even post it on our page, and I'll put like an affiliate link, but Dr. Shafali and Rennie Jane, I think her name is, they've just released their book, Superpowered. And we ordered it, but I actually ordered another one for Lavinia because I thought, oh my God, this is an amazing journal for my daughter right now. And I think every child, even every parent should get, I'll probably get more now after Christmas, but the book is based, and they were approached by their publisher pre-COVID, and they said, we've noticed that kids' anxiety has increased, you know, it's like 1 in 5. So we want you to write a book. And they sat down and they said, all right, how are we going to do this? So it ended up being a very interactive book. It's almost like a journal, and they've broken down this acronym, which is superpower. The power is presence, originality, what was the other one? Resilience, wholesome, like feeling whole from within. What was E? Can't remember the other two. Energized, and what was the other one?
I think you said them all.
I can't remember the meaning. Anyway, this whole book is to help us teach our children how to find their own superpower. And what you were saying before, like, oh, why does this all happen? The book actually goes into it looks like it goes into every chapter, deconstructing what's going on in their head and then working out plans or ways to help them self-regulate or help them identify, oh, those feelings aren't bad, those big feelings. How can I use my anxiety and flip it over to make it my strength, my superpower? So, you know, everyone, it's like number 3 in the New York, you know, bestsellers list, because they've been doing pre-sales prior to the book release. But everybody that's sort of got a copy right now are just raving on about it, saying that this should be all in the schools. They're going to do a book club on it. It's really exciting. So, you know, we're still waiting because of all this travel. And
the book hasn't arrived yet.
It still hasn't arrived, but I'm hopeful it's going to get here. But the book, I think it's going to be a game changer for everybody, because you've got to understand, as adults, our parents never taught us how to deal with our big feelings. And that's why we get uncomfortable. That's why you're uncomfortable when your child cries and doesn't want to get out of the bath, because in your head, you're like, you just do it. That's what I have to do. So, but, you know, the beautiful thing about kids is that they're so present with their feelings. They're so authentic. And I think we need to realize that they express themselves quite authentically, and that's okay. You know, don't be scared of the anxiety. Just go, oh, look what it looks like. You know, you've maybe got sadness. What do you think it feels like? Be curious about it. Don't be furious. Be curious. Because I think our kids are scared from within. They're like, what is going on for me? I don't know how to cope with this. And I think when we get heightened, they freak out even more. So I think it's learning to be the detective, take off the parent hat and be the detective. What does it feel like? Where do you think this is? Like, ask the questions. And they may not know the answer. The 4-year-old doesn't know. And like Amanda said, it's probably accumulation of something else. And that was the thing that popped the cork off, you know. But I think this whole book, I think it's going to be a game changer, because it's really going to teach us how, as parents, we can learn to use the right language to help our kids self-regulate and get through those big emotions. So as they get older, they know how to self-soothe. We don't know how to self-soothe. You understand? And that's where we're all messing up, because we're looking to the outside to soothe us, right? So we need to teach our children how to self-soothe themselves. So when they grow up and they get out into the adult world and they see stuff that they may not agree with, or they go into relationships, they know how to go, this is what's going on for me. What do I need to do? And they're going to have the right language, because they've come up with all these acronyms and, you know, unpacking, like they've got these terminologies that I think it's going to be really cool. It's not going to make anxiety the baddie. It's going to make it like, okay, here's what's up for me, but I know what I need to do to take action and look for the solution. So I'll do the link after this, but I think, I think that might be a book that she can't read, but you would read with her in bed. Yeah. And then as she gets older, and she'd be able to write, she'd be able to do her own journaling for herself. And I think, you know, every child, every adult, this is just amazing, because once you realize, this is what keeps showing up for me, this is where I need to grow up and really adult for myself, but be the emotional coach for the child. We're not trying to fix them. We don't need to, don't make your child feel like she needs to be fixed. Just go, I can, because my daughter's the same. When she's in a bath, I let her be for an hour, because I know that's a relaxing thing. Water's relaxing, let's face it. But I know where you're coming from. It's like you want them to get out, and there's this pushing, and it's like, is it really worth it? Because she probably just wants the feeling of a bit of control in her life. Everything's out of control. Let's face it, everything's out of control. So for her to have that little bit of control of wearing what she wants, we wear pajamas all day on Sunday. I don't really care. But, you know, Sunday's pajama day. Stay in your clothes if you want, because it's just you've got to pick your battles. Like, is it really worth it? You know, at the end of the day, they're going through their own little anxieties, and do we need to keep adding that? Probably not. Give them that little bit of choice to make, because that's what everybody wants, control and choices.
And at 4, she's starting to find her own feet and want.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be told by you what I need to wear, what I can't wear. If she wants to wear pajamas, let her wear the pajamas. You know? And
it's, you know, it's about trying to make it a win-win situation for both of you.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you're happy for her to wear, you know, give her like, you choose, okay, 2 outfits, but she gets to choose which outfit. So you're happy with what's actually going to be worn. You don't care what it is, but it has to be something like this. And then she's happy because, oh, you didn't tell me what I had to wear. I'm choosing that t-shirt and those pants type thing.
Correct.
So at 4, I remember at that age, there's this switch where they feel I don't have any control, and so they become defiant and they say no to everything, and everything is a big deal. So trying to find ways to empower them, for them to feel like there's some type of control in their life, that they have choice. And imagine if someone told you everything that you had to do. So, okay, today you are going to have this for breakfast. Today you're going to wear this. Today you're going to play outside. Today you're going to ride your bike. Today we're going to play block.
It's too scheduled, too structured.
You know, and that's what we do as parents. We're like, oh, we think that we're doing the right thing because, you know, we're giving them a full day and allowing them to, you know, have all these experiences and do all these things. But as Suzanne said with her son, she had to take that, I need to step back. I need to take that step back. And so it's not about, it's maybe saying, okay, well, I do want them to spend some time outside. So you can say, okay, let's spend some time outside, but what would you like to do? Do you want to do chalk drawing, or would you like to ride your bike, or would you like to do sandpit play? You like, I think if we try to release our overscheduling, and give our children a little bit more choice in the activities that they're choosing, or, you know, so you're winning because you're happy because they're outside, they're winning because they're happy because they've chosen the activity that they want. So it's about trying to, I guess, negotiate so that both of you are happy in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, they're realizing as they get older, they're not part of you. They're realizing the separation. I'm not, because when they're a baby, they don't realize. They think we're an extension of them, but now they understand. I don't really own her, so I can do what I want.
And that might be
waking up to that.
Might be overwhelming too. So that might be why she's highly emotional too, because she's like, I'm separated from mummy and I have my own wants, and mummy wants me to do this. Am I a bad girl because I'm not doing what mummy wants? I don't want to do that. And then all the you know, we don't know, because they won't tell us what's going on in their heads. It's sort of like a guessing game. So it really is, you know, trying to work them through what's going on for them so that they can understand it, and then as they get older can communicate that with you.
Very powerful. Anyone else?
Uncomfortable, sometimes ashamed of feelings. Yeah, it is really hard when our kids are, you know, struggling, particularly out in public, whether it's a tantrum, yelling, screaming, throwing food off shelves, or, you know, and we're trying to stay calm, we're trying to keep the situation under control, and we don't want anyone to look at us. And I remember right at the start of this journey, because I remember, you know, telling my kids off and, you know, getting annoyed and, you know, be quiet and all of that. And then I remember when we first started doing our mindfulness practice, and I was like, okay, I'm going to practice trying not to yell at the shops. Like, that was the biggest thing. Now I don't take them to the shops, because then everyone's happy. It's win-win for everyone. But when they were little, you had to take them because there's no husband at home. You have to go do the shopping, you know. So I just remember standing in the shopping center, and the kids like I think one was in the trolley screaming to try and get out, and the other one was like grabbing something off the shelf, and I'm just standing there like not speaking to either of them, because I thought, right now if I speak I'm going to yell, and I'm just like, connect with the breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe. This is like I'm going in my head. I'm not sure what anyone else in the shopping center was looking at or seeing. They probably just thought, there's a crazy lady over there. Any other mother would be going, oh my God, that poor woman, because they know exactly what's going on for me. But I had to let go of worrying about what other people thought, and that was really, really hard. But in that moment, I'm like, no, I'm not yelling. Okay, I need to close my eyes. I need to connect with my breath, because I do not want to yell. And that was one of the key things that I had to learn, is what I say or how I present myself, other people aren't going to agree with it. People are going to go, why don't you just smack your child? Why don't you just tell your child off? Get your child under control, you know, because that's the old parenting, you know, ways. That's how it was always done. But that's not how I want to do it. I want to parent from a place of connection, and a lot of people aren't going to understand that. So they're going to think my child is wild. They're going to think my child has no rules and no boundaries. But you know what? I have to get over that. I have to go, you know what? What they think of me holds less value than what the connection and the parenting that I want to have with my child. What relationship holds more value? The one with my child, not that person. And that's how I was able to let go. You know, still sometimes, of course, you don't always, particularly with people who you love, like, you know, other family members, you know, that's really more tricky than some stranger on the street. But, you know, the more you practice, the better you get at being strong in what you want and what you value, and being able to forge ahead with that.
It's just, you know, we took a long time to figure it out. So don't feel like, oh, I need to be like Amanda. My God, this has been in the, you know, we've been doing this for a few years, and we're kind of lucky because we've passed that really young stage. So I can look back, and it's really hard for me to connect with that Suzanne who I was, you know, because we're just two different people right now. But I feel for you guys, like, you know, the mums that, you know, have the child that throws himself on the floor, or, you know, goes haywire, because it's a lot of self-regulating. You've got to do that yourself. You've got to parent your own parental ego. You've got to parent your inner child. You've got to deconstruct all these beliefs that you have before you can even go to your own kid and be fully present, you know. And this is why we say to you, please practice self-care, please practice meditation and mindfulness, because that is the fundamental keys of the anchoring. It's teaching the focus. It teaches your own guru to go zen when you need to, you know, because without those tools, I'm still wondering, how are these people doing it, you know, because that's the only thing that gets me through this every day, you know, having this care and this practice, this discipline, you know, to do what I have to do, you know, and then teach it because I love it so much. You know, I study all the time parenting books because I love this topic, and I can't fathom, I still think it's funny that we don't train to be parents. I just think it's so weird. Poor adoptive parents and foster parents, oh my God, they must go through the ringer. And here we are, we just go home with the baby and we're so responsible. It's like, you know, how does that work, you know? So I take it on myself to read as many parenting books I can, because this topic for me, I'm serious about it. I value it. And, you know, you come to my home, I've got books everywhere because I just love the topic. It just fascinates me. So it is, you want to invest, learn about parenting, like, from different people. You know, there's amazing writers right now out there. So, yeah.
So anyone else want to share something that's happening with them? Something's happening with their children, something that they're struggling with, or a win. We'd love to hear some wins.
Yeah, it'd be good.
I'll share a win.
Oh, yes.
Not really winning, but like I've done the meditation of the self-care, I think since the Reiki, since I met you guys in March.
Yeah, March, wasn't it? March.
Yeah. And I was like a mess. I was so emotional. And then literally I got like I've been meditating now for like over 200 days straight. Like I just...
Yay, that is a win.
I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, beautiful.
I know. And now there's times where like I listen to my ego and I just laugh. I have a little giggle to myself and I think, oh, I can't believe I think like I just when I think of my ego, I see a little girl and I just like giggle to myself and I just say, oh, you cute little girl. It's so funny. And I just like in my mind, I just pat her.
It's good. That's good. That's what you need to do. Laugh at yourself, because I do it too. Like sometimes I want to go past my husband and go, my ego wants to say, because I know that it's not me. Like I don't think that of him at all, but I know my ego is just itching to say it. She's itching to come out. And sometimes I'll just go, my ego just wants to know when you're going to put that away. I can see her, and it's funny, isn't it, Jen? When you see your ego, you can actually laugh. It's just so hysterical. Good on you. I'm so proud of you.
Not all the time. Sometimes I still like the
I know.
and yeah. other times when I catch myself, it's just a nice feeling to know that I'm not engulfed in it like I was.
Yeah. And you're not that. You understand that? Like, you're more than that. And this is the good thing when you do the course with us over those 4 weeks. Then you really unravel and you'll come eye to eye with it. And you're like, oh, I see her and I love her, but I don't need her to be there all the time.
And the other thing is the ego is not our enemy. The ego is actually someone we need to befriend, because she teaches us so much about ourselves. You know, if we push her away and ignore her, she just gets stronger and she gets a louder voice and she gets angry and she makes us feel uncomfortable. So it's really about saying, you know what, I see you and I love you, and hugging her and saying, you know, you're part of me and that's okay, but you no longer control me. You know, I'm in control. I can hear you and I can see, yes, okay, I'm going to let you voice that, because I need to let my husband know that I'm not happy about that plate there. You know, but you're consciously aware of it.
Yeah, but then that's it. It's the difference of knowing that I want to say it. No, I can't. No, I need to say it. And that's what it is. It's consciously being aware of it. That's when you can look at yourself and befriend it. But if you haven't witnessed it, you're just going, why am I so angry? That's the difference. We've woken up. We've seen it in the mirror and gone, there it is. There it is. There it is.
But I love, you know, I remember that Jen that came, I think that was one of our last live events, actually.
It was just the week before we all went into lockdown.
Yeah, and I remember the Jen that came, and, you know, you could just see, you looked so broken when you came to that event. And I'm like, now, every time I see you, there's this glow and this smile that just radiates. Even if you're not smiling, there's this light that comes out of you. So obviously, whatever you're doing with the meditation and supporting yourself, I know you're reading a lot of books, you can really see the transformation in such a short period of time. You know, that your journey has been much quicker than Suzanne and mine. Mine took much longer to where you are right now. You've just you've done a sprint, mate. So, you know, definitely.
I still feel like I'm at the beginning. I still feel like there's a lot of work I need to do, but it's probably because I was just like at the lowest point.
But it was good that it's good that you came to us at that, because what I've learned, you have to have a breakdown to get the breakthrough. You have to be so broken that you're just willing to do anything. And when you met us, you were just like, I'm open to it. You know, just give me what you got. Because until you don't recognize that you are broken, like, and just keep pushing away, it just never changes. You'll just keep having the same cycles, the same things showing up. When you're broken, changes. What's this? I'm going.
Stacey's got to go. No problems. Yeah, we'll see you for
the call.
Sorry, guys. Thank you so much.
No problems.
I can hear a lot of tears because they want me to come give them a kiss.
No,
Thank you.
Have a nice night. Take care, Stacey. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. I'm glad we met you at your most broken state, because even Dr. Shafali says that when she has clients coming, she goes, I won't see them until they're broken. She goes, go away and come back when you're broken, because then she knows you're willing to learn. Then you are open to this new way of being. And I know that with me, when my mum died, oh my God, I went into a biggest hole for a year, and then I emerged and transitioned, and I did all the stuff that I had to do. And I have no regrets, you know, like I miss her physically, but I'm so grateful like that passing did happen, because I wouldn't be doing this today. I know that for sure. So it's like learning to celebrate and see that, okay, her loss is my win now. There's something there's always a gift. There's something, you know, there's never a loss. I've just realized there's never a loss. There's always something to gain. So good on you for doing what you've done, because you really have come a long way.
I would probably still be like a mess if it wasn't for you guys. And you guys really, honestly, I didn't know anything about energy healing. I had no idea what energy healing was. And as soon as like I experienced that, I was just like lifted. I was telling my friends, like, I haven't experienced this before, where like, honestly, I felt like my energy had lifted just from like that one session. And it made me really curious. And that's why I'm like so open. And now I'm so open to everything. It's because of that experience really opened me up to a lot of things. So thank you.
No.
Being curious is good.
Thank you for trusting us, because you know, we are outside the box stuff. We're not your standard run-of-the-mill, parenting type stuff. We do try and support the body, mind and spirit. And so it is, sometimes we do unusual things. Like a lot of people go, what is Reiki? What is sound healing? Oh, that doesn't work. But we believe that we, as Suzanne was saying at the start, we're all energy. We all vibrate. The only reason why we have a body is because our energy is all our cells are tightly packed together. Yeah. And so they're all, that's how they make this solid form. So, if we can understand that we are a vibration, we are an energy, and the only way that we can support ourselves is to keep that vibration high. What things keep it high? Okay, the right food that we're putting in our body, the right mindset, the right exercise, like looking after, physically looking after that, the right people in our life, the right choices we make. So all those things allow us to vibrate at a certain level. And when we're vibrating there, then our body's in wellness, our mindset's in wellness, our health's in wellness. So you'll notice when you're vibrating high, you feel it, you feel alive. I can see, in Christy's posts, and she's been back in Queensland.
Yes, she's glowing as well. We've seen a lot of glowing.
Is, this aliveness, this lightness, this joy I see about you. Those pictures that you did in the forest, they were
really nice.
Oh yeah.
Tell us more.
And I look at you and I envy you at times, because I look at,
you're
I'm
so
like,
comfortable in your own skin,
so connected and comfortable with who she is.
Yeah, it was so empowering.
Yeah, and I couldn't, I am not at that space. I'm obviously still connected to form, to just show it all.
We can't even unchain in the changing room at this pool.
I just saw you, and I just, I when I look at different people, not that I'm envious of you, sorry, I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by your courage and your honesty and your vulnerability to show yourself wholly in that way, because it's really hard to do that. So, and obviously whatever you're doing in Queensland, it's lighting you up big time. So
you've probably come back as a brand new person. I bet you people go, you've changed, something shifted maybe, because I don't know, you were different when we first met you, and I know you've definitely gone through that full journey with us. So I'm just finding
just people I'm connecting with, it's all aligned, everything just
because you're
aligned.
In the synchronicity. When you're in a high frequency, your vibe attracts your tribe, so you're hanging out with that tribe that gets you. You don't have to try to change into small talk. You can speak your truth, and it feels authentic, doesn't it?
One of the I actually connected with all these conscious parenting in Brisbane.
Beautiful.
And one of them, she's just she's amazing. She started healing, and then her story of becoming pregnant. So she was already doing conscious parenting before even being pregnant with her first.
Wow.
So she's just had a beautiful home birth, water home birth. So
it's good. And being around people like that raises the bar for yourself. I think that's so important. When you hang around with people that you look up to, it helps you to lift as well as a person. Yeah,
definitely.
Your dialogue, your knowledge, your thirst, you're thriving. What can I read next? What are you doing? You just bounce off each other, because you both inspire each other. You elevate each other.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good that you.
And then it's interesting with family, how you're saying, but my sister's quite overwhelmed because she's very much a helicopter parent.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we're just, my mum has to be your different styles, and that's quite, she's admitted it's quite hard for her, but
different folks, different strokes.
Yeah.
And that's it, everybody's on their own journey. I'd love everyone to do conscious parenting, but I know that that's not everyone's journey. It's not my job to force everyone to change everyone. I have to look after myself and my own need. I love doing this, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. Whether you take it on, it's your choice. I planted seed. and that's it. You grow your plant. But it's like, you know, I get where you're coming from, and I understand your parents might be going, what's going on here? Two daughters and two different styles. Yeah. Yeah.
But thankfully with Ethan, they're like, yeah, you have no choice.
Yeah, you got to go with him. You got to go with his flow. Yeah.
He's like, wake up, Mum, wake up, keep waking up.
Yeah. Ethan is a true gift. And that's, you know, out of the box kids, they are, you know, all our kids are gifts, but the out of the box ones are the bloody gems, mate. They're the ones that bloody awaken us so quick. They're like, nah, you're not going to sleep. You are going to be awoken.
And
even I've had women, like, he's melting down in public, and it's never been an issue with me because it's my normal. With my first child, I'm like, okay, this is how it is. Yeah, I've had women like, oh, that's awesome. Good to see he's having a tantrum. I'm like, oh yeah, the usual.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't shun it or shame it. He has to, obviously, that's his way to self-regulate. He has to push out that energy or exert it, and then he'll come back in. Yeah. All you can do is just watch and say, I'm here for you. Just keep him safe, and that's it. It's over and done with. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
And you're getting lots of support for him now because you've got your NDIS, which helps.
Yeah.
You know, which will help him with those tools, you know.
And I've just got, I had him on a wait list for an intervention place, and we just got everything confirmed. So he starts in January.
Oh, great.
So yeah, we're really excited for that.
Yeah.
It's a place that it's really hard to get into, and I've been working my butt off. Well, just calling them lots and making sure.
But that's all laws of attraction.
Don't forget me.
Just meddling with the universe, making it my way.
And then I found this amazing school that's pretty much conscious parenting school.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Amazing.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Well, it's all working out, you know.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Enjoy the life. Let it unfold.
Yeah.
How you doing, Adriana? How's your family? How's your children? Are you good? Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, there.
Yes, yesterday I had like myself, I had like a down moment. Yes, but I have the period right now, and for some reason I become very sensitive.
Yeah.
And emotional, and yes, I had to, because the feelings that I was feeling yesterday, they were very, very intense, that I had to get out of the house and walk.
Good.
Because I didn't want to throw that uncomfortable feelings that I had inside onto my kids or my husband, none of them.
Yeah.
It was so intense that my body was like itself like getting out of the house.
Yeah.
And I just put my jacket, my tennis, and my runners, and just got out of the house and walk. I let myself cry as well.
Yeah, good.
Because it was too intense.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the first day of my period. And the first 3 days emotionally is very, very intense.
Yeah.
And I become very, very sensitive. And when I came back, I was still crying.
Yeah.
And I was all red. And then my kids, they were asking me like, Mommy, are you okay? Why are you crying? It's not the first time they see me crying. And I said to them, it's like, this is part of the life. Sometimes you see Mommy that I'm happy, content, and willing to, to give you presents. I'm very, very good. And sometimes you'll see me. And that's okay. I'm just feeling my feelings. I was explaining to them, like, they didn't think that it was because of them or something that they did. It's just something mine. That I was
Sometimes there's no meaning for it. Just is. It just is.
Yeah.
And then we sat down on the floor, and my son, one of my sons, grabbed my hand, and and then hug me like, it's okay, mommy, you'll be fine, you'll be fine.
Oh.
And I said, yes, I'll be fine. I'm just feeling what I need to feel, like passing through it.
Yeah.
You will go away. You will go away. Yes, mom, you will go away. And yes, and actually went away.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference was that before I thought that it didn't go away,
Mm-hmm.
but now I know that is my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
that they keep the emotion on, but like in reality, no, the emotion just lasts a couple of minutes.
Yeah, 90 seconds, I think. 90 seconds. I mean, anything
6
more is
seconds,
because we've given a
actually.
meaning
This
to it.
6 seconds for that emotion
There you go.
to go through you, and then if it stays, it's because we're holding on to it. We're not wanting to.
It's like an arrow. Arrows are coming, and we're holding it. It's like you just got to let it go. Let it go.
That's a really good example of what we're talking about to focus on this month, is taking those moments of time to check in. What do I need? Oh shit, I need to get out of this house. I know I'm just going to explode and I don't want to do that. So let me have my time. Let me cry it out. Let me get it out. Let me feel it. Let me sit with it. Let me be with it. Because if I try and stop it, then as you said, you would have gotten home and then just lashed out at your kids anyway. So, you know, it's, I guess.
I could feel, I could feel that intensity. It was like, and my kids, they were doing something, and like it was.
Yeah, it was coming up.
And I said, no, I really need to get out of the house now.
and that's so adult of you to check yourself out. Like, that is so empowering, isn't it? When you could actually say, I actually have to leave the stage and get out of here.
Otherwise I'll become a danger.
It's true. You have to take yourself out of the drama, you know, get yourself out of being the main actor and get off the stage. Because it's scary. It just comes out of nowhere.
And it's hard because we're not used to doing that. We're not taught to do that. We're not taught to check in and go, what's wrong with me? Oh, okay, I need some space. We're just taught to lash out and steal other people's energy, because that's what we usually do. We yell or whatever. Oh, I need something to make me feel better. We don't realize that's what we're doing. But when we're yelling and going at other people, we're trying to subconsciously trying to steal their energy to make us feel better. And it never works. We never feel better. We just feel even worse. So having that time away is that self-time out, which is exactly what we're talking about, to continue with that practice. So
I'm so happy with these Meetups, because I'm learning a lot. This self-care journey is sort of new to me, because I used to neglect myself a lot. I thought I had the belief that I had just to give, but I wasn't aware that I was empty. And but at the same time, I didn't understand why, if I don't want to react in that way, I don't want to treat my kids, but why I keep doing it. And now that I've learned, that I joined this process, and I'm learning a lot, thanks to you guys, about self-care. It's like, now I see. It's like, you need to do. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's one of our keys. You know, we've sort of honed down our stuff and really looked at what is it we want to teach. What is it that parents, mothers in particular, need to know? It's mindfulness. You need to be aware of your shit. You need to be aware of what's going on. You need to be present with your emotions. You need to be present with your kids' emotions. You need to accept everything and be present in the moment. Second is self-care, 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 self-care. We weren't looking after ourselves, and that's exactly what happened. I'm mindful. I'm doing my meditation. Why am I still yelling at my kids? Because I have no self-care. I haven't supported myself. I hadn't looked after myself. So that was the second key. And that's the third key that we actually did, because we didn't know that's what was missing. We were doing all this other stuff, and we're like, why are we still doing this? And then we figured it out. It took us time to figure it out. Then the third is parenting ourselves before we parent ourselves. And then the fourth is connecting to our child. So the journey really is self, and then child.
That's why I say 80-20 rule, because you've got to work on the self. It's like, boom, that's the answer. I've given it to you.
Yeah, it really is.
And then everything falls into place.
Yeah. But Adriana, I don't know if you're aware, we're running our Parenting with Presence Level 1 4-week workshop starting in November.
Oh, then the newsletter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna join.
Yeah,
I really want to keep learning.
Wow. Yeah.
I really need to keep learning about self-care and like getting used to practices to, how can I say, like mothering.
Yeah, mothering. You're going to do
Mother
mothering
yourself.
of yourself. Yeah, you need to practice the
I
mothering.
need to practice more and like keep learning and practicing because yes, it's something that I need to work on. More.
You'll love the course. I'm doing it again.
It's coming back for another round.
So, yeah, I'll join.
It'll be a different experience again for you, Christy, too.
Well, that's what I like.
It'll be, and like we've tweaked it a little bit different, but yeah, I think you'll enjoy it the second time round. Yeah.
And I think whenever I've done something twice, I pick up so many different things. I'm like, how did I miss that the first time?
Yeah, I'm really
because your head, your mindset is very different. You've closed on a lot of the old issues, but you might have still there's stuff that keeps coming up, so you can work a little bit more on that. Yeah, and deconstruct it. And then you've got good because you can sort of support these girls as well, you know, because you've been there and done that, so you understand it. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, it's just on 9 o'clock. So what I will do is I'll share my screen. Actually, I'll mute everyone so I can play the music so everyone can hear it. So I'm just going to mute everyone. And then I'm going to share my screen and we will end with our parenting mantra. Let me get this up. Oh, I haven't got it in slideshow mode. Oh, where are you, slideshow? Here we go. Okay, so as always, the first is a blessing for ourselves, the second is a blessing for our children, and the third is a blessing for our relationship with our children. Please sing along at home, and I will sing along here in my house. You'll hear me sing. Is this going to work? Here we go. May I be conscious in all my actions. May I be wise in all of my responses. May I be filled with love, kindness, and compassion. May I be better connected to myself. May you be conscious in all your actions. May you be wise in all of your responses. May you be filled with love and kindness and compassion. May you be better connected to yourself. May we be conscious in all our actions. May we be wise in all of our responses. May we be filled with love and kindness and compassion. May we be better connected to each other, one another.